Hello and welcome back to my kitchen renovation series. My name is Jahan and as always I am so happy you're here. Before we dive in, I do have something I want to admit, and that is I'm equal parts terrified and excited because I have decided that I will be doing all the tiling. I know that's pretty crazy, but we are on a tight budget and it was one of the ways that we could save thousands of dollars. Typical me, I have a bit of a can-do attitude and I've just decided to go for it. Now, I do have a little bit of experience tiling. I actually tiled the laundry in our last house, so I have a fair understanding of what I need to do, but obviously in this renovation, there are a few different areas that I will be tiling. In the kitchen, there are 3 areas that I will be working. If you've already caught up on episode 2, you will have seen that I've already tiled the backsplash. Honestly, I think it's looking so good. When I walk in through the front door, I'm instantly drawn to this wall, and I love how elevated and gorgeous and timeless this space is starting to look. Before, it was definitely feeling really outdated. So what I love most about this so far is how organic the tiles are. They do have that beautiful handmade quality, which is exactly what we were looking for. So as you probably know, if you've already watched the other 2 episodes, or if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that we have an all white kitchen, and that's something I never thought I would ever have in my entire life. I definitely love kitchens with color and a bit more depth. So what we realized will make a really big difference in this space is to bring in as much texture, movement, and mixed materials as possible to make it feel full of life. So that's why we've chosen authentic Moroccan Zellige tiles. Next, I need to tile our butler's pantry, and then I've got a pretty crazy idea for our kitchen island. And honestly, that idea is the one I'm most nervous about. Jason and I had lots of conversations. We have been on a wild journey. We weren't too sure if we should replace the stone on the kitchen island or if we should totally paint the cabinetry. Honestly, don't think painting laminate is a very good long-term solution. And one thing that I really wanted to ensure was that the kitchen didn't look like a Reno job. I wanted it to look professional, and I just knew I wouldn't get that finish if I painted the laminate. Or we could just leave the kitchen island as it is, but honestly, leaving it to me is just such a missed opportunity to make something out of it, like create a wow factor. So I've decided that I'm going to tile the entire kitchen island, with the exception of the drawers, of course. After I saw some pictures on Pinterest, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I was mulling it over in my mind over and over again. And I realized after all the ideas that we've had, that is probably the most cost-effective solution for bringing a lot of impact into this space. Now, as you know, I am so excited because I'm working with the team at Coolum Tile Stone on the entire kitchen renovation. A few months ago, we popped into their showroom to have a look around and to get some ideas, but honestly, we kept going back to the authentic Moroccan Zellige tiles. We absolutely fell madly in love with them. We were totally drawn to their organic handmade qualities, but if I could be honest, we have been on a bit of a journey. We fell in love with the burgundy Zellige tiles, and then we fell in love with the chocolate brown Zellige tiles. But in the end, and this is after weeks of going back and forth between me and Jason, we decided to settle on the white because we felt that they would be better long term. Our kitchen is all white, so instead of trying to reinvent the wheel and to try to push for something different and create a lot more work than what we really needed to, we have fully decided to lean into the white kitchen. Zellige tiles are loved around the world for their organic handmade qualities, but because they are handmade, they do come with lots of color changes and lovable flaws. If you want perfection, these tiles are not for you. If you want tiles that feel organic, tell a story, and feel like they come alive, then these are definitely for you. And that's exactly what we wanted. Because the kitchen is all white, we wanted to bring in as much texture and life as possible. And we know we can do this by choosing materials and hardware in different finishes that tell a story, but also work together really cohesively. So after a lot of planning and decision making, we finally decided on 3 different Zellige tiles in the same color family. For the backsplash, you would have seen me tile these small square Zellige tiles that come on tile sheets. Honestly, I think they look so adorable. The space is really small, so we thought having a smaller tile in this area would work really well, and honestly, I'm so happy with how they look. They were on sheets, so they made tiling very simple. Look, it still took a little bit of time, and I'm forever grateful that they actually fit perfectly, which meant I didn't have to cut any. I never used to like glossy tiles, but since we've moved into our new home, it just felt like a really good opportunity to try something different. For the butler's pantry / laundry, we've decided to use these rectangle Zellige tiles. Originally, we were going to choose a tile that was a lot cheaper, but however, Juliet suggested we choose 3 Zellige tiles in 3 different styles for the 3 different spaces in order to get that beautiful cohesiveness that we were looking after. And honestly, I'm so thrilled that we're doing this. And there's a lot of opportunity to create pattern with a rectangle tile. So I'm not quite too sure if we'll do a vertical design or a horizontal, maybe herringbone or something else like offset. So that's something that I need to figure out shortly. For the kitchen island, we are going to use these square Zellige tiles, which are without a doubt the most popular and used all around the world. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, are we going to be grouting our Zellige tiles in the 3 areas? After much debate, we are without a doubt going to grout our Zellige tiles. Look, they are so famous around the world for so many people choosing not to grout them, and honestly, I think they look absolutely beautiful ungrouted. But because we are using them in 3 high-use areas, we have decided to grout them. So I'll be using epoxy grout here, as well as our kitchen island, but then I'll be using just a very standard grout for our butler's pantry / laundry area.
Tile shops can get really overwhelming quickly, but every time I popped into Coolum Tile Stone, I felt very relaxed and inspired, and it was so great to collaborate with the owner, Juliet. She totally understood our vision for creating a kitchen that would stand the test of time and grow with us, where we could switch out other moving parts such as art and books, objects and flowers as our style evolves and changes over the coming years. By sticking to our strengths, which is creating a neutral foundation, she helped us bring together a framework of tiles that were different but would also work very well together. It was also a breath of fresh air working with Juliet. She gave me a lot of tips for working with and installing Zellige tiles. One of her tips is to dry lay them first, area by area, to make sure they look good together and to see which tiles have chips and which don't, which is to be expected when choosing Zellige. So always make sure you buy more than you'll need. Usually 15% more is enough. Because of their handmade quality, the colours can vary, so it's important that some of the variations don't get placed together in clumps and inadvertently make a pattern you don't like. There were, as expected, a few chip tiles, so I placed these along the top row where I knew they would be perfect for cutting. This is a great way to use those irregular tiles without having to discard them. If you do use Zellige tiles, make sure they all come from the same supplier to avoid major colour variances. Juliet showed me 2 of the same tiles from different Zellige suppliers and there was a difference, so make sure if you need extra tiles that they also come from the same place. Once I was happy with the layout, it was time to start tiling. Our builder was here building my studio, so he helped me cut the first 3 tiles where the power outlet was. It was great to get a tutorial from him as I needed to learn how to cut tiles. We used his diamond blade and honestly, it was a lot easier than I thought it would be. I mixed an adhesive and got to work tiling on top of the existing tiles row by row. I needed about 2 kilograms of adhesive for this area, so I ended up buying a huge tub of pre-mixed adhesive, which was way more convenient. Tiling this area plus all the cutting probably took about 6 hours of work in total. I found batching the tasks worked best and I loved it. It was very meditative. No 2 Zellige tiles are made exactly the same, so expect some to sit off the wall further out than others. Additionally, some are wider than others and some are taller than others. So even though I pre-laid them out, I pre-checked each tile on the wall to see if it fit and had to move quite a few around. I found this was an important step before gluing them to the wall just to keep the rows as straight as possible. And there you have it. Don't they look absolutely gorgeous? I love how they shimmer in the light and they bring so much life to this space. Now it's time to show you how I tiled the kitchen island. I've always loved tiled kitchen islands, so when we were looking at ways to update ours but not wanting to replace the stone or paint the cabinetry, I knew this was the perfect opportunity. Thankfully, our friend Dave was on hand to help. His team lifted and repositioned the stone bench top, boxed in the island and added tile angles around the drawers. This is actually one of the biggest reasons why we chose to stick with an all-white kitchen. We love the burgundy Zellige tiles, and then we fell in love with the chocolate brown, but to tile the kitchen island meant we would have to colour match the tile angles or use something else and paint the cabinetry, which I really wanted to avoid. It was really important to us that all elements in the kitchen renovation were long-term sensible decisions, and we also wanted to avoid this space looking like a DIY job. As with the other areas, I dry laid the tiles first and then moved them to the kitchen island. As you can see here, the island has been boxed in. Then it was time to glue them on. I used tile spacers in some areas and a level to make sure the lines were straight. We started on the bench top first, followed by the sides and the front. Dave and I individually measured, mitred and cut over 150 tiles, then glued almost 600 onto the island, all while Jay somehow entertained 6 kids during a very chaotic play date. And as you can see here, the last areas we tiled were the corners. This is where a lot of cutting was done. Dave did most of the cutting while I glued the tiles. Cutting the tiles was done differently along the tile angles, which is what I did, and then Dave focused on mitering the corner tiles, which needed a lot more skill. I could have taught myself how to do this, but Dave has a lot of experience and worked really fast, so the mitering was done by him. And there you have it. Dave and I spent about 8 hours on this kitchen island. It was a huge effort and there were definitely moments where I questioned my own sanity, but seeing it all come together made every second worth it. Wrapping the island in handmade tiles added so much depth and texture and detail, turning it into the heart of the kitchen, which I'm absolutely obsessed with. I love how the tiles shimmer in the light, and it was also the first time the space really started to feel like ours. And the best part, we were still nowhere near finished. Stay tuned for the next episode where I focus on the range hood, lighting, painting, hardware, grouting, and lots more.